space, which is early at 30. That's pretty early to be in that space. Just make sure that you really thoroughly face the hurt. Whatever, hurt is like a cancer. Like if you leave a little bit in, it's going to grow to bitterness. So be honest about that hurt. Be honest and feel all of it. Feel every ounce of it. One of the things that I notice about women, especially black women, we say, "Girl, let that go, let that go." You know what I'm saying? We don't trip. And I tell my friends, feel it, feel all of it, feel 100% of that anger, feel 100% of that hurt, feel 100% of that rejection, feel 100% of that abandonment, feel 100% of that neglect. Feel it, feel all of it in its totality, so that when you release it, you can release all of it in its totality. Don't rob yourself of feeling everything you need to feel, because if you do, when it's time to release, what you did not allow yourself to experience is going to still be in here.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say. And I would say if you are... I would say don't use the term cut. Cutting off is permanent. Okay? Healing comes in cycles. You may have to go back and revisit some things. 99.999% people do. And if you can go back, when you go back and revisit it, and it's all released, you're free. But when you go back and revisit it and something is still there, you gotta give it to God. Because sometimes we give things to God and we give that portion based on how we feel in that moment when there's more in there. And then another circumstance will come to let you know that all of it is not gone. Then you got to give that part.
That's so accurate.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's phases. So for me, it was phases. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh man, I thought I was... And God was like, I allowed this circumstance to happen to show you where you were. Now give me that part in your surrender too. Now give me that part in that part too. Now give me that part in that brokenness. So that's why I can sit here and be a whole woman, because I gave him those parts, because he did let situations come up. And sometimes we think situations come up, you know, to set us back. No, that situation was rehearsed to show you that other part that you need to give to God. And you need to give it to him through the demonstration of your faith. That's how faith without works is dead. You know what I'm saying? That's the intangible piece. And jealousy is so real. We are not teaching the training of it in churches.
Nope.
At least, let me put it like this. Not the ones that I know. And when I say teaching it as a life skill on how to guard yourself from it, and how to heal from it, and how to manage your healing, and how to pace your life, and how to be guarded. No.
Yeah.
That's not a training that's happening.
So when you train women how to guard themselves, how do you guard yourself from jealousy?
Well, there are a few things that I do personally. I create a healthy distance, and I watch what I say. On the spiritual side, I am aware of the favor, the wealth of favor that I have with God. And so I'm careful with what I speak, because my words create. So
that's a big one.
I let the distance. I'm okay with that. So I'm not the person who's gonna trip because you tell me you're not coming to my house for Thanksgiving. See, I'm not that person. I'm not the person that's going to trip because you don't include me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a recovering person from abandonment issues. So my recovery is, I don't trip because I've come to the full understanding that God is so cold-blooded in my life that if he hasn't anointed you to choose me, I'm not supposed to be in your mix anyway.
That's a word.
You know what I'm saying? So that's that. And when I look at my past, I can kind of laugh because I wasn't in this space now, so I don't trip. I have come into the full understanding that my life is really hid in Christ with God. So what do you do with something that is hidden? You can only find something that is hidden when somebody tells you where it is. So if you don't know me, if you can't find me, you're not going to know my worth.
Right.
You're not going to know the benefits of having me around because you're not in that place to be told where I'm located. So I don't trip. I'm trying to give it to you in the most practical form. I've come into such a fullness and a wholeness and a completeness that I really truly understand that God has to choose you to walk with me, and he has to speak to you to choose me.
That's something for me. Abandonment with me, I'm still learning to accept that is an issue of mine. And my best friend, when I first started the podcast, I said in one of the other episodes that she was a crutch of mine, and she never wanted to do it, but she agreed to it just because she wanted to help me out. And so one day she was just like, you know what? She told me no, which is respected because she has the right to say no. I took that so personally. I was so angry until I got convicted that that's a problem for you. That's not even her problem because this isn't even something she wanted to do. And I knew that right off. But it was like her telling me no was that she wasn't there for me. Like she had abandoned me when that was never the case. Never the case. With abandonment, like you said, I was never one to make friends very easy. Very quiet, very shy, very peculiar. Told that I was too bossy. Outspoken, rude almost. And the people that chose me was always like shocking to me. It was shocking to me simply because I'm just like, why are you, like nobody else want to be my friend? Like, why do you want to be my friend? Right. Until I realized the people that stick around, it was like they were meant to, because I shoot to the hip. Like I say what I have to, and it's not me being rude. It's just what I feel is necessary. So you saying what you just said about knowing what's hidden, I think that definitely was for me.
Well, too, talking about your marriage and talking about your friends, think about this. How many of us really prepare for marriage?
None of us.
And how many of us really know how to be a friend? How many of us really prepare ourselves for friendship?
I think we just go based off what we see. We don't prepare for it. We just go off what we see.
That is my exact point, which is that this is the reason why we fail at it. Because we don't really prepare ourselves. We don't, like, we go to school because we're preparing for something, or we go to training because we want to get a trade. We never prepare for life. You know what I'm saying? And then with people saying that you're bossy, or that's an alpha woman's trait. That's why I speak about the alpha woman so much, because the alpha woman, she is a leader. She is an entrepreneur. She's the matriarch of the family. She's the take charge kind of woman, and she's very difficult to walk with because she's not going to wait for anybody to give her anything. And a lot of people take offense to that type of take charge personality. You see it in little kids. You can look at little kids and you could tell who's going to lead. And you could tell who's going to lay back in the cut. And it's okay because there is no wrong personality type. a lot of this stuff happens to us. I learned this in my alone season. A lot of stuff happens to us because we go into relationships with each other ill prepared. We take the marriage counseling, but you take marriage counseling from another person's perspective. That ain't even your perspective because you don't even have one yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You don't even know yourself.
And then we turn around and give marriage counseling advice to people who are getting married based off our perspective. Yeah.
Everything is second, third hand. That's the point that I'm making. And then we end up with this brokenness based on being ill prepared. None of us are prepared. I said the other day on my live, the 52% of divorces that are happening to people who are not prepared to go into that marriage. Think about it.
I think this week I've heard, Seth Anthony Mackie, what's her name? Niecy Nash, Solange Knowles. They all just divorced quickly, or in our site quickly. And I just see that. I think it was just devastating for me to see, simply because these are all people that people set goals to, and they're human. And they survived that marriage based on their, like you said, their perspective. But for me, I'm surviving based off what I've seen. You know what I mean? Based off what I've seen, not necessarily what I know, but what I've seen. Think about this.
When I saw Niecy Nash talk about her marriage, I didn't hear her husband say nothing.
Nothing. She wrote a book on that.
That tells me something. That tells me who voice dominated. That tells me something. Because I don't hear him saying anything. And that's something that, as alpha women, women who lead, women who are powerful, women who are gifted, women who are blessed with a plethora of things, we have to be careful how we manage that energy. Because it can build empires, but it can also shatter lives when it is misappropriated. And a lot of us don't know how to manage that energy. Like I said, I haven't heard that man say anything. So that tells me something. Now, I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying a lot of times, I know for me, I can walk into a room and not say a word. And I know my energy has filled the whole place up. So by the time you speak one sentence, people hear 1,000 words. You know what I'm saying? You have to be, and that comes with time. That comes with being discerning, being sensitive, being spiritual, being accountable, being balanced, being wise. That comes, you know what I'm saying? You just got to know when and when not to. And most of us have not mastered. I would say in our culture, in westernized culture, we do not properly prepare for each other. We don't.
That's very true.
We train our daughters, get your degree, get your money, start a business, do whatever. A lot of us are coming up in a culture now, we don't even know how to manage a house.
That's very true.
Managing your home is a survival skill. A cooking skill is a survival skill. Going through the drive-thru, you know what I'm saying? And we wonder why our bodies are plagued with all of this stuff because, again, it brings me back to the woman. When she is not properly aligned, that means different things for different women sometimes. You know what I'm saying? A woman who's quiet, laid back, naturally, she's not going to have that challenge. She may be offended with you. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn, and it takes discipline, takes honesty, how to manage our energy. And we don't know how. So some of the jealousy that finds us, a lot of it is based on ignorance. We don't know, being unaware. Nobody has told us. And whatever you don't know, you tend to fear. So fear. Like, you don't even know me. Like, why would you be jealous of me? You don't know. You never had a conversation with me. I
you
get
don't
this
know
all
what
the
I
time.
battle.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, women who have been jealous of me. And I just sit back. And I can tell when it's present. I can sense it. I can smell. I just know it's there. And I'm like, wow, this lady knows nothing about me and has the audacity to hate me or dislike me, not knowing my humanity. What is that? Fear-based. You know what I'm saying? So it has taught me not to shrink down, but to